is, I think as the gentleman from Municipal League indicated, the city sets our election, or the county, if it's in Pulaski County outside of Florida. So we get petitions to submit to these local government people who are elected just like you guys, and they decide whether it's going to be a special election, and when it's going to be, or whether it's going to be on a general election ballot. And the other thing is that we're operating in Little Rock with $30,000. If they're having a special election or a general election ballot in Saline County or Marlton, Conway County, or some other part of the state, they're not going to be able to raise $30,000 just like you can in Little Rock, because there are fewer people, and there are fewer people who have the change and money to give to the library election. So I think it's a harder, steeper pull for people outside of Little Rock than it is for us. I'm just lamenting the fact that if we could figure out a way to get 100% of the people to show up at every library election, we'd love that. And if we could figure out how to vote and get the people who vote in the general election to understand that at the very bottom of the ballot, we think it's important, even though it may seem less important to the casual voter. If we could figure out how to communicate with them in a city or an atmosphere where there are so many competing messages, we're fine. We'll stand or fall on our ability to persuade voters that what we're doing for you is worth the additional cost in your property taxes. If it's not, then we won't win the election. We think we have highly regarded libraries, and we provide useful services to people all across the spectrum in all of these communities. And if we can't persuade people to increase their property tax a little to build a new library or provide more materials, then we're not going to win. And we're happy to make that case to 100% of the voters. We just don't know how to get through with the limited resources we can raise from private donors in a general election.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
We have Mark Whitten and I'm sorry, I can't read the other.
It's my handwriting, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I apologize. That's my handwriting. Mark Whitmore, Association of Counties.
Actually, Mark, I could kind of read yours. It's the other one I couldn't read, so it's a...
You did it. That's right. Judge Davis, if you would introduce yourself.
I'm Rick Davis, Garland County Judge.
Okay. You all are recognized.
Thank you. If I may, just want to push back on a couple of things. This has a lot to do with local control. You know, we said this in the Senate, and I'll repeat it again. Amendment 7, which actually provides the citizens the ability to do initiative or referendum to oppose a local measure. If they want to come to the ballot and oppose an unfair ordinance, like the ordinances where there are enclaves taken in Garland County, they file a petition. The Quorum Court sets a date for the special election, or just like Mr. Coulter says, the Quorum Court sets that. That's in the Constitution. And in fact, that's the part of the Constitution Ms. Douglas was pointing out under Representative Ballinger's initiative that was left untouched for a reason. It's sacred. It's in the Constitution of Virginia. It's in the Constitution of most of our 13 colonies, initial states. It's in the Constitution of more than half of the United States. And this bill is repugnant to that. This bill suggests that the Quorum Court doesn't have that authority, that the citizens won't have the right to oppose an ordinance that they feel aggrieved about and do it in an expeditious manner. Also, I want to push back the concept, the myth. I've heard testimony on this from lots of folks. Hadn't heard any testimony about a countywide election being unawares, that somehow the electorate, the population of the county is blindsided or unaware that they're going to have Yale County is going to have an election to build a jail, or the Garland County, or the Crittenden County, after the jail burned down, had to turn the tax off. That all the complaints about this bill were about the special elections, or about smaller events. And counties will do what the government, what the state suggests, which is crime prevention, courthouses, jails, things of importance to the hospitals. So it's awful hard for me to believe, and your state representative is more connected than I am, that the people are unaware unconnected to a countywide special election. And if I could, I think Judge Davis could better speak to what the people in his county might think.